Good afternoon, everybody. I'll give everybody a minute here. Okay, looks like everything's showing up. How is everybody doing today? Hello, Rosie. Hello, Linda. Linda, you found that paper pad, right? You were looking for? Hello, Tammy. How are you doing? Hi, Irene. It seems kind of funny making a Christmas card today because it's very hot in Calgary. We have this fun Christmas card to share today. And then we also have the fabulous September kit. Oh, good. Okay, I'm glad, Linda. Hello, Melody. So Sandy just dropped off the September kit. I'm going to show you that after I show you what we're going to create with today. And the September kit is beautiful. So she's getting that all set. I don't think it's in the store quite yet. You're at Tim Hortons and they're already doing pumpkin spice. I know. Starbucks pumpkin spice menu was out, I believe, 2 days ago. Hello, Sarah. Hey, Scrap Shots. So I have not yet had a pumpkin spice latte, but that is on my to-do list. I might wait until it gets a little bit cooler. How do you find if you're still signed up for the kits? Linda. So maybe Scrap Shots, can you check on that for Linda? And Sandy could have dropped off something at your house. You're practically next door. That's right, Tammy. Maybe she did a surprise drop off. You never know. It's always a surprise. I went outside to take a picture of my girls. And I always try to do a picture first day of school, and so I'm like, oh yeah, the kid's here, yay. So we've got all the add-ons and the kit to show you. After I show you this, what we're going to do today, I had fun just playing around with this. This little gnome guy, so cute. So if you have been kind of following along with Spellbinders, they came out with some die cuts last year with like all the little pieces and the little interactive legs. And there's some more this year in the dies that are a deer, which I have and I'm going to make a sample with. And then there's a snowman and a Santa. So there's lots of cute little interactive dies, but in here, in this little die cut ephemera pack, they also have added in some of these interactive little guys. So I'm going to show you how to put those together. And usually if I have a bunch of die cuts, and you can use these on scrapbook pages and on, your cards. I thought they make really cute cards. So I like to just kind of dump them out. And if you're looking for them in the shop, they're called Gnomie Christmas Dance printed die cuts. So there's 52 pieces and you've got little banners. You have some little gnomes that are the full size. Then you've got some little cars. Any of these would be so, so cute on a card or a scrapbook page. And then they've got the little word bubbles and they've got polar bears. And I like that the word bubbles, they've got lots in little word bubbles that go each way. Oops, this guy wanted to jump out here. So depending on where you want to put them, and they've got trees and little stumps, so you could even make him sitting on the stump. So I have the pieces pulled out that I'm going to make today. And then I found this snow marker that I swear is probably like, I think I've had this thing for 5 years and it still works fabulous. So you just need to shake it up and put it on. And if you haven't used yours in a while, then you can take a piece of scrap paper and just kind of depress it a little bit. And I'll show you that when we start on that. And then you just heat it up and it puffs up. So if you can kind of see, hey Jennifer, it is happy back to school day. Yes. So back to Linda's question. If you were signed up last year, you continue to be signed up unless you let Sandy know that you don't want to be signed up. So yep, you're on it. Hello, Stacy. So have a look at these little trees. I kind of dressed them up with the snow marker. We're also going to play with some glitter, the Spellbinders glitter. And I know there's quickie glue pens in the store, and I have one, but I have no idea, of course, where it is. So I grabbed my Nuvo glue pen. Yes, on the kits. So I added little snow, and you can see how dimensional it is once it's puffed up. I know the snow marker is in the shop, and if you don't have a glue pen, the quickie glue pen is in there. Thanks, Stacy. And look how his legs, like, I mean, he looks like he's injured now, but we'll kind of get him. He wasn't supposed to. No, he said some kind of a freak accident. Okay, we're gonna have to use the tweezers to get him off. My nails are too short to fix that. Okay, we'll fix that in 1 second. Maybe we can hold. There we go. He's back to normal. There. Anyway, if you're shaking him, he's so cute. And then we've got the little tree stump, and we're going to do some of this foam, stamping foam, and it's so fun. So I actually found a piece of burlap and I stamped that with the circle stamping foam. And that is in the shop too. And then we've got a couple different Nuvo Dream Drops and Jewel Drops, and there's lots of Nuvo. If you look under Nuvo Drops in the shop, there's lots in there. So I thought we could dress up the trees. So let's move this stuff out of the way. I'm going to go show you guys the kit. I also grabbed some crystal glaze for his little nose. Love the crystal glaze. And that is the Spellbinders glitter. Okay, so we'll just move this out of the way for a moment. And let me grab the kit. So the kit this month, maybe I can zoom out a little bit. See how that looks. The kit is the Simple Vintage Lakeside, which I think is beautiful. And I really think that you could use this for a lot of things. Anything from like spring, summer, and fall. The plaids in it are beautiful. You can do masculine photos if you want with this collection because it's a little bit subdued and not particularly themed. You can do your outside pictures, just lots of really nice, subtle colors. Hello, Lorraine. So we've got in the kit, you're going to get the collection kit, and that is the paper that I'm showing you here, as well as this 12 by 12 sticker sheet. And there's lots of stickers on this sheet. They're a really good size, and then lots of fun little border and ticket stickers that Simple Stories always has. And the icons are going to match with the paper. So you're going to be able to easily mix and match those. So lots of nature and outdoors. If you have camping photos from the summer or even, you know, a walk, I think these would go really nicely. And if you have some fall photos, then the oranges and yellows are going to match really nicely with the colors as well. So you get the 12 by 12 sticker sheet, and then the dragonflies are beautiful, aren't they? Hello, Katie. And then this one here is called Take New Trails. So let's see, there are 12 sheets of double-sided paper. And then you get the cut apart papers that we're going to look through here too. So I'll show you both sides. This has really nice ferns and the background. This is just a really nice background piece, or you can cut it up and use it on your papers. And then on the back, you've got this really nice map. It's got lake references. That's really nice. And it looks like it's collaged with some vintage paper, which is a really cool look. Let me see. I'm going to put this down here as I go through it. This one here is Nature's Story. And you've got the wood background and then almost an overlay with the butterflies and the foliage and some words. And then on the back, you've got this really nice dark background with the ferns. This is very pretty. Have you guys been scrapping much over the summer, or do you find that you're too busy and take a little break and look forward to getting back into September? This one is Explore and Discover with the cute little frogs, and you've still got some text and a pretty neutral background there, and then a really nice plaid. That's very pretty. I think plaids go with so many different things. Then this one is I Love This Place. I love how they've really got this vintage look to these vintage collections. It just looks like it's worn wallpaper, or, you know, very pretty. And then you've got a really nice black and white stripe, but with a little bit of distressed areas. You haven't been in your craft room? You're anxious? Yeah. I find the summer has been so busy. I have been crafting, but I haven't got any scrapbooking done. So I'm really looking forward to getting some scrapbooking done. This is called The Great Outdoors. Isn't this great? This little collaged piece looks like book paper, and then you've got the moose. And you could literally just put your photos on here and a title and be done. And then on the back, lovely wood grain with that moose again and some trees. Then we have Catch of the Day, which of course is wonderful if you have any fishing photos. Is anybody a fisher person, or do you have fishing photos? And this is just a tone on tone red, which is really nice, because if you don't want to use the fish, then you've got a really nice background here that you could still use. And I love this. This is called Relax and Unwind, the teal turquoise plaid. And then on the back, you've got some ducks and the wood grain again. Really nice for at the lake photos. This one is On Lake Time. It's so cute with the baby ducks. And then that neutral kind of tan background. And then a tone on tone with the leaves and the green. You weren't in your craft room this much this summer either, Stacy? Yeah, it's hot, hey? I have lots of photos from our trip to the lake. So this would be perfect for that. This one is called Journal Elements. I love the toadstools. And then you have a cut apart sheet, which is really great always for journaling or to add little pieces to. I love how they always have this little library card with different images on it and lots of different sizes. So I usually end up cutting these up because I like to use them for journaling. Then this one is the 3x4 elements. So on the back you have the butterflies in these very pretty colors. I love these colors together too. And then you have the cut apart sheet, the 3x4. So you've got, lots of sentiments that you can use. These are great for cards as well. If you just want to put this on the front of a card, it would make a really nice masculine card as well. If you're doing any pocket pages, you can add them, but there's also lots of different sketches that include the 3x4, either photos or journaling cards, and so you can just incorporate them onto your layout. This one here is the 4x4 element card. So again, you can cut all those apart, and you can even cut out images, use this as a title, lots of different things. And then on the back, you've got a really nice print with that green in there, a little bit of images from the other papers. And here we have the 4x6 elements. A scrapbook challenge. Well, I think so. And actually, we haven't got a new challenge up in our Facebook group, right, Stacy? So we should think of something for that. Yeah, use scrapbook paper, even if you're doing a card. Use 12x12 paper or something. I don't know. We have to choose a winner from the summer challenge, and we'll get that posted today. We'll try and get that posted today, and then post a new challenge. And this one here, you've got your 4x6. They're such beautiful images. And then a really pretty floral, looks like flowers, tone on tone. And then these are not the exact colors, but I just don't have the cardstock right in front of me. But Sandy said it would be red, brown, and like a teal color. So I just grabbed these from my stash. So you will have different colors, but you'll get 6 colors of cardstock and something along these lines, right? So it's going to just, something that matches, just to give you an idea. So you're going to also get 6 pieces of cardstock. You've got your 12 papers, your 12x12 sticker sheet, and then we have the chipboard stickers. So this is a 6x12, and you've got a really big sentiment. So these are great for titles. These here you can use as a title or as a smaller title. And then all these really great size chipboard stickers. Then we have the bits and pieces. So this is the 57 piece bits and pieces. And these are all the ones, let me hold this up a little closer. You're working on the winner, perfect. So lots and lots of images that coordinate with your sticker sheet, with your chipboard stickers, but they're a different scale. And because they're the cardstock, they're going to be a different height. These are great too for popping up with foam dots as well. So whatever you want to do with those. These are really fun, these chipboard frames. I love using these. So I'll just pull these out. There's more in here. I think, and so if Scrapshots, if you're still on here, I think what's happening with the frames, because I don't have a list in front of me, is that maybe you get a half pack of frames because there's 6 in here, and a half pack of enamel dots. And when the description gets up there, we'll be able to double check for sure. Hi, Sheila. But I'm guessing that you'll get 3 frames, and someone can correct me if they know. So you can put these on, put your photos behind it. Let's grab a piece of this paper. And half a pack of enamel dots, and then usually with the add-on, then you can add the other half of the dots or the other half of the frames. So that's my guess. So these are really great for quick, easy layering. Put your photos behind there. Really cute. Add your title. Okay. And then we have the foam stickers, and the foam stickers are some of my favorite just because they have this foam texture and a really neat dimension to them. Lots of big stickers for titles, which is what I like. And then you've got lots of other images to add. The fish. This is really great. Okay, so that is your kit. And as soon as that is up in the shop, then if you haven't ever signed up for a kit club, you can sign up, and it's a 3-month commitment, and then you decide if you want to continue after that. And I think anyone who signs up for Kit Club, it's such a great deal, and the products are always amazing. Plus, you get first dibs on any of the add-ons that come into the shop, and you get a little discount. So that's always fun. So here are some of the add-ons, and sometimes the add-ons go pretty quickly. The add-on would be half the enamel dots, and like I said, half of those frames, I believe. And then these are some other items that you can get to coordinate. So this is the Simple Vintage Lakeside papers, the basics, and you get 6 papers, and they're all in colors that coordinate exactly with the kit. Simple Stories papers are always very lovely. And then we have some washi tape. So this is this is 5 different washies. A wood grain, you've got the fish, you've got the one with the little toadstools and butterflies and ferns, and then the moose, and this striped one, which of course I think could also be used for Christmas. And then we have the page pieces. So page pieces are great if you want to do a quick, easy page and you want to grab some page pieces, grab some paper, and you know, you've got everything. They even give you an idea of how to put it together and how to add your photos. And it's just a really easy way to do a quick page for scrapbooking. But you get all of these, and they are paper, like paper ephemera. Then this is the sticker book, which of course is so ridiculously full of stickers. You've got your letter stickers there. You've got circle ones, borders, tags, and little banners. Oh, 2 alphas. I love putting these beside my photos. And then lots of images there. So this is a look at all the stickers that you're going to get in that. These labels are really great too for doing any stamping on or writing, journaling on. But lots of great images. And there is a web page on the website to tell you about the kits if you're looking to get more information. So you can click on Kit Club And then there's something, a little drop down menu that you can click on, and it will tell you that where all the extra information about how the kit works. These are the layered stickers, and so if you can kind of tell, they've got these really great layers and foam dots in between, and you've got a lot of dimension in there, which are really fun. Then we have the paper pad. So you've got all those papers that we looked at. I'm not going to open it right now, but it'll be on a little bit smaller scale. You'll still have some of the 3x4s in here, which is fun, and all those same colors. This is the stamp set for this collection, and I really like this. You've got little paw prints and little images. These are even great for little planners and stuff. And this one is always great for background stamping. These silhouette stamps are really great, and you can use those on lots of cards as well. This is called the net stencil, so it's just a net design, really great for mixed media. These are always fun to just give a little spray or put ink in the background, and these are really just a great stencil. Lots of fun things you can do, add pastes, all kinds of stencil things. This is the nature bits, so these are a little bit different than the one that's in your kit, and I'll give you a look at these. So this looks more like it's specifically the images and the plants and animals from the kit. Yeah, that's a really great stamp set. I love too, like these little stamps, just stamping them below your photos or on the side of your scrapbook pages. Then the decorative brads, of course, are always fun with the fun little images and colors, and they are adhesive. And then you have the chipboard that they've included in this. And then we have chipboard clusters. So you have a whole bunch of chipboard inside a package, and that's a look at what you get with this. So this is almost like a Viewmaster, which I love. Viewmaster look, and the doilies, and then you've got extra pieces as well. So you can put those on your layout. So fun, hey? So those are all the add-ons that are going to come with the kit this month. So that's lots of fun. Definitely want to check that out. And we can start making our card. So this is our little gnome, little interactive gnome guy with the little feet. And we're going to use the printed die cuts. Okay, I have a scrap of burlap, and I'm going to show you how this works. So it doesn't even look like there's much texture here, but when you stamp it, you get a ton of texture. So a couple other samples that I have. When you buy the pack, you're going to get 2 pieces of the foam with the circle in it. So you've got the circle that comes inside here and the outside, and then you've got a whole other piece, which I think will last you for a million years. Hello, Kay. And these are a couple other ones I did. So this one here, I was showing my daughter how it worked, and we actually took the stamping foam, heated it, and then pressed it on her sweater. And she was actually wearing this. So it's a little bit crumpled up because it wasn't flat, but isn't that fun? And then I stamped it I used prize ribbon ink on that one. And then this is another stamp impression with the burlap. Yeah, so cool. And this one was the barn door. So originally I was going to use these colors with these because they kind of went with those die cuts, but then I just decided to go with the frayed burlap because I thought that kind of was a little more neutral where I was using a colored background. So yeah, lots of things that you can do with this. So how this works, maybe we'll do this first. I've got a die cut here, circle die cut, and this is actually one of the Pink Fresh stitch circle dies. I'm not sure if it's still in the shop. If it's one that you're looking for, you can email Sandy and she may be able to find it still. So I've die cut that. We've got our little piece of fabric or whatever you want. This works great for embossing folders as well. If you have some fun embossing folders, press it on to get the impression. Anything you can think of, you can make a stamp essentially with. You're making a stamp with this foam. So we've got the heat gun. I don't want to heat the burlap, so we'll move that over here. So we've got our ink, our frayed burlap ink, and then I'm going to do a little bit of around the edge with a vintage photo. And I have just a wooden sponge tool, and I felt like that was a good way to get the ink on there evenly. So we're going to heat that up. So as you can see, what happens when you get this impression is that this is on here as long as you want it to be on here. If you wanted to keep it on here, if you wanted to do the other side, you could have two different sides. But as soon as you heat it, then it's going to go away. So it's going to go back to being flat as you heat it. Now, if you leave it stamped for a long time, then it takes a little bit longer to flatten out, but it won't hurt it. And I'm probably doing it a little bit longer. I've also got this little ruler because I thought that was a good way to get a really great and even impression. So I'm heating it until it looks like it's pretty much flat. Then I'm going to turn it over right away, set it on my surface that I'm going to get the impression, and the ruler just gives me a really great even pressure here. Hello, Julie, how are you? And you don't need to hold it for too long. It cools off pretty quickly. So then look how great this turns out. I think this impression's even better than the last one I did. It doesn't hurt the surface that you're using, so you could use a sweater or a cushion or anything like that. It's not going to hurt it. Okay, then how I found easiest to put this on, you can rub the ink on it, but I felt like I got a nicer, smoother impression, and this is just Distress Oxide, by just rubbing, sponging the ink on. And I'm just adding it to where I feel you don't need a ton of ink. It will transfer better than you even think. And then I'm using a little bit of this vintage photo. Whoops. Tuesday is 10% off. So yeah, Tuesday will be the 6th. I'm just going to get a wipe here. So you'll be able to use your Tuesday 10 coupon. Also, if you haven't signed up for the crop and you're thinking about it, the Scrapaganza crop, we have a special early bird prize of a glimmer machine. So anyone who signs up by 11:59 on the 5th, which is Monday night, just before midnight, then your name will be entered to win a glimmer machine, the Spellbinders glimmer machine. So if you're thinking about signing up, definitely sign up. All right, so we've got our ink on here. We could go ahead and stamp it, but I'm going to add a little bit of water misted. And I'm going to do that off to the side so I don't get water on anything. I'm not misting it a whole lot. You can see just a little bit of water on there. I misted it a couple times. And then I'm going to set it down directly on top. Try not to move it, and then use my, you don't have to, you can just press it down. I just felt like I got a nice impression, and I'm not, you know, super pressing it. I'm just giving it a firm press. And look how cool that is. So depending on how much water you have, that's going to show you what impression. So this one here, I might have put a little more ink or a little more water, so it looks a little bit different, but still really great. We've got that really great burlap stamp texture. So essentially you're kind of creating your own background stamps with this. There is also the little rectangles of the stamping foam in the store as well. So it gives you a couple different options. And then you can even do it again. I'll give this one more mist just to kind of show you. You can get quite a bit out of this. And I'll just press with my hand so you can kind of see. And that wasn't as much because I think I didn't have as much ink on there, but you still have a really cool impression. This would be really great for backgrounds. And then all you do to clean it off is give it a little spritz with water, or mist it or rinse it under the sink, and then give it a wipe, and it's totally clean. You can go ahead and save that and use it for next time, or you can heat it either before, if you just want to heat it and clean it off, then it'll be ready for next time, or you can wait and heat it until you're ready to add your next stamp. Okay, so we've got our little burlap piece here. Hello, Lynn. Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool, Lisa. Okay, so we can put this off to the side. Now we have our card base. So this base is cut from the 12 by 12 paper pack, the Nitpicky, but this, you could easily use the 6 by 6. Either one is great, and they have such fabulous colors in them. So that's the new Lawn Fawn Nitpicky paper, and it's 6 by 6 paper, or I know there was a few of the 12 by 12 in the store. Either one's going to work for your background. So we're just going to glue that on. I just cut that with a waffle flower die with that little stitched edge. That back side would look great as well. Let me see here. So we're just going to add this here. So back to the Scrapaganza crop. Definitely sign up if you're thinking about it. The shopping passes are also on the website. I just picked up a door prize for the croppers. So we've got lots of door prizes that will be given out for people who are cropping for that weekend, September 23rd and 24th. And I just picked up a really, really cool one from Selena at Scrap and Deputy. it's going to be really great. So there's going to be lots of those to be won. There's going to be a little table gift when you come sit at your table. Okay. And we have lots of make and takes planned. So each of the vendors, you'll be able to do some shopping. There's several vendors that are going to be joining us, and then we're going to have make and takes there for $2. So I'm going to try and get my make and take done over the next week or so, so I can show you, and it's really going to be really fun with some tonic products. And before I glue this on, I want to add some glitter. So yeah, it's going to be just a really fun weekend. If you're ready to get back into doing some scrapping, having some time to yourself, and it's only $75. I think it's a really, really affordable weekend. So this is the Nuvo glue pen. I don't think we have these in the shop, but we do have the Quickie glue pen, and they'll both work the same. Hello, Jenny. So we're just going to shake this back and forth, and I'm going to go right around the edge. If you feel like it needs a little bit of extra glue, you can just depress it. And I just want a little bit of glitter, because I think if you're having a Christmas card, you need to add some glitter. And then I'm going to just pour this glitter on around the edge. And just now, if you don't like glitter, because some people don't, then you could just use some stickles at the end. This Spellbinders glitter, I really love it. It's the sparkle dust. And then you can just pour it back into your container. We have a few other things to glitter. A couple other things. His hat, maybe that was it. All right, so we may as well do that right now. You can just set this aside to dry for a second. And the little gnome that we're going to use, Irene, I wish you weren't so far away too. Maybe sometime you can come. So we've got his little legs. I'm going to show you how to place those on. We've got a couple trees here. And we've got the little speech bubble. All right, so we're going to glitter his hat. And this is just, you can do this with any die cuts that you have. It's just a fun way. I don't want the snow marker. It's just a fun way to add even a little more interest to a die cut. So I'm just adding that glue right onto his hat. And this takes a little while to dry, but you can still add this guy to your project and everything while you're waiting. Just kind of don't rub it till it's dry. Okay, so we can set him there. And then we'll add the snow to our tree while we're waiting. The snow marker is always fun. So this one is in the shop, the Marvy snow marker. I'm going to add a little bit of snow to my trees, and then add a little bit to this little speech bubble. So to get this guy going, you can just depress it, and then it's going to be flowing really nicely. And then basically you're just writing on your project where you want this snowy effect. Okay, so that's there. And then we could even add If we didn't want the snowy swoops, we could add little dots of snow as well. I don't know. I didn't decide exactly how I felt like it was the best effect. But I think, you know what, we're just going to go with whatever we think. I mean, it's in nature, right? There's a gnome. He's in the forest. I'm going to get a little bit extra over here. And it's obviously been snowing and he's ready for Christmas. And so I don't know. I don't think there's any specific rules. And what I did find was if you heat it and find that you don't have enough on there, you can go back and add more. Hello, Shirley and Patricia, I think, popped in, and anybody else who I missed. Okay. I think having it a little bit thicker is kind of a nice effect. If you do get a little more on, you have lots of time that you can wipe that off and just get on what you want to. And again, it is snow, and I don't think there's any specific rules. What do you think? We'll try that. We'll heat that and see how that looks. So a pair of tweezers is kind of helpful. You could chunk up the glitter with Tim Holtz rock candy. Totally. I do love that stuff. All right, can you see how it's bubbling? It's so cool. It bubbles really quickly. You don't want to overheat it. I think I have glue on my tweezers because it seems to be, once it's on there, it's sticking. But I'll have to clean those off after. We'll put this little guy on the tweezers. This is just so fun to do. It puffs up so quickly. And then I really liked it on this sentiment, kind of looking like snow is on the top of it. You could put snow on his hat too. That would look fun. And look how fun that is. And you get this really great snowy dimensional look. And like I said, I think I've had this for 5 years and it's still working. Okay, now we can put our little pieces together. So I cut out some snowy hills with, it was some Spellbinders Snowy Hill dies. And I first cut it out with this background stitched die so that I would still have the stitching. But there's lots of little stitched dies, like Lawn Fawn has some Snowy Hills, and I think one of the Mama Elephant dies had them. So if you don't have them in your stash, it's probably something, that could be a basic for your die cutting tools. All right, we're going to stick this on first. Kind of getting that placement, and you can see that pretty glitter around the edge. We've got some Crafting Kimmy stamps and stencils, some new ones that are just being released. We're going to have those at the show. Now I am going to make sure I glue right to the edge because we don't want his little feet to get stuck in the snowbank. We want them to move easily. And I think Sandy's ordered lots of stuff, Mama Elephant. So if you can even just come shopping for the day, we would love to see you. Wild Whisper is going to be there. Paper and Ink is going to be there. This is at that Scrapaganza. And if you're just looking for more information about it, there's a Scrapaganza Facebook page, as well as on the main Scrap Shotz website, you'll find the link to the page with all the information. So let's zoom in a little bit and I'll show you how to put this little guy together. So that's going to be his body. This is going to be his little legs. It is so super easy. So this is where his little legs are going to be. I put him in about the center. Okay. Yes, so much stuff. We have so much stuff coming in and we're making so many samples. So fun. So this is the Scrapbook Adhesives little foam dots. And you're just basically putting this in the center. You want this to be able to move around freely. You could put 2 dots and he would probably, it would move even easier, but I think 1 is probably fine. And then we're going to adhere him the top of his body. But you want to make sure that this little foam dot is attached to him. So you want to add a foam dot here and then 1 further up. And then you're going to take the top off that adhesive and then you're going to place it on. So I want to have him so that his hat is just at the top of the card. There he is, and look, so fun. Then his little legs, they can be dancing. It looks like he's doing a little dance. How cute is that, right? The sliders, definitely. Yeah, anything that's going to just attach, you know, between this top piece and your base and let the legs move freely. So cute. Okay, now we're going to put our little trees on with our snow. We'll add a little bit of glue there. And you could easily make a whole bunch of Christmas cards very quickly and easily. And try not to press my snow down too much. I was trying to think if I added the snow on after I glued those on or before. I think it was before. Okay, this little one, I'm going to add some foam dots. And I think I have to cut this, and I believe that I didn't bring any scissors. I'll have to try and find a pair of scissors. Here we go. It's getting to the point where I have glue now stuck all over my fingers. You guys know that point where you need to take a break and go wash your hands. All right. So we've got our little tree here, our 2 little trees, and you'll recognize these trees as well, the bottle brush trees last year, and I'm not sure if we still have those in stock, but they were super cute as well. So I love that they brought the same dies, and brought them into the ephemera pack. We've got Get Your Jingle On, super cute. And then we've even got this little tree stump. We could have, I guess, put a little bit of snow on here, but either way, it's cute. Yeah, you've used the sliders, Jenny. Those are good to have on hand for lots of different things. We'll add his little stump. Now, if you had made the card going vertically, then you could actually put him on the little tree stump with his legs moving. And then we're going to put a little bit of Nouveau drops on here. So I have here the gold Luxe. That's the dream drops that are iridescent. And they're self-leveling. So you put the little drop on and it just smooths into this beautiful, perfect little dome, which is nice. And I realized, just going to squeeze this off to the side to make sure, because if you are using this and squeezing a little bit harder, you want to make sure that it's not squeezing out on your project. So I always, when I'm first starting it, I just sometimes I'll just put a pin in the top, make sure it's coming out nicely, because of course you don't want to have an incident. So I realized that I have a lot of light, kind of metallic colors, but I don't have a lot of basic colors. So I think that will be my next purchase from the shop, but there's lots of Nouveau drops in the shop. And you can mix and match them if they're the dream drops or if they're the jewel or the crystal drops. They all look really nice. So I usually just try to squeeze a little bit out and then do a swirling motion to get that circular effect. Just put as many on as you like. I felt like he needed a little Christmas tree, so it could either be a tree in the woods or you could make it into a little Christmas tree. And then we've got the tonic crystal glaze, similar to like a glossy accents. And it seems to come out in a really nice smooth application, so I've really liked working with it. And we'll just add that to his little nose for a little dimension. You're loving the nitpicky background. I love this paper, hey? Let's zoom out. Then we can see both of these fun cards. And then you do want to set that aside with those Nouveau drops. You want to set those aside to dry. But you can see both these guys with their cute little moving legs. And these are just fun. And that fun background. There you go. So that is our project today. And if you missed the review of the September kit, make sure to check on that. You're going to try the Spellbinders stitching dies this weekend. Oh, that would be lovely. You should post a picture in the group if you do one of them. I have the Stitched Joy Spellbinders die. I haven't used it yet, but I do need to make a sample. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks, Katie. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks, Lisa. Be sure to check out the Scrap Shotz paper crafting group later, and we'll update the challenge as well as the winner. And if you're interested in the kit club, it's the Simple Vintage Lakeside. You can sign up for that or expect it soon to be coming. And if you are thinking about signing up for Scrapaganza, the crop, we've got our early bird Spellbinders Glimmer Machine giveaway for anyone who signs up by 11:59 on the 5th, 11:59 p.m. Thanks, Lorraine. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, guys. Stay cool if it's hot where you are. And hopefully you get a little bit of crafting time. And I will see you next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.